Hello and welcome to the Slingshot Channel. A lot of people want to know about home defense, and in many countries it is illegal to own firearms or keep them in the open near the bedstand. So we are looking at an alternative. Spare guns actually are legal in many countries that otherwise are very, very restrictive. So let's try to find out if they are any good for defending your home. We are looking at two compact models from the company Cressy. This is not a sponsored video though. I bought them on Amazon at full price. They cost about 80 euros plus minus. It's affordable. I'm looking at the 50 centimeter type. You can get them in much longer sizes, probably be a lot more powerful too. But for home defense, you want something compact. You don't really want something that is 2 meters long. So 50 centimeters is about the right size. So, two different models. Let me show you their features. First model that we're looking at is the rubber-powered model. As I said, it is 50 centimeters long, and this is the spare it shoots. As you see, it has this nasty little hook that I think is really needed if you want to hunt fish with it, so that you can't pull them out when you draw back the line. But for home defense, it's probably not really needed. Anyway, it is made from massive steel. That's why it's so heavy. And I think it is the heaviness that makes this so effective, because it is damn near unstoppable. It has no fletching, which is really not needed for this purpose, since we are talking about short distances. Defending your own home really means that 5 meters is about the distance you have to look at. No fletching is needed for a thing like this. To load it, you simply put it through the muzzle hole here, and then you put it into the corresponding hole in the lock, and you can hear it engaging. And now it sits nice and firmly inside of the weapon. What I really love about this is that you can load it so quickly, because you can have this fully loaded just without the rubber band cocked. And cocking is so easy, because you simply press it against your chest, pull, hook it into the notch here. Actually, there's two positions that you can use for that purpose. One is a little bit more to the front for a weaker shot. And then it's ready for the shot. It does have a safety that you may or may not use. It doesn't automatically engage. And it is really easy to shoot it then. Wow! We're now shooting from 5 meters distance to see how straight it flies. And we're shooting into this thick archery mat. Again, cocking super easy. Just like that. Let's fire away. Back. As you can see, it went in fairly deep. This is the distance. I'd say that's probably a good 12 centimeters. All right, ballistic jelly shot. Whoa! That was rather impressive, but it came in a little high, so I think we have to shoot into a lower position again, so we have comparable results. Now we're talking. It really shot through this 20% ballistic gel block. Unbelievable. I think you can really clearly see that it is the momentum that does the penetration here. This is a very slow shot, but it has so much momentum that it's just unstoppable by the gelatin. Now we are looking at the next model. It's also a Cressy, but this one works with compressed air and not with rubber. Of course, we always prefer rubber-powered weapons, but let's have a look at this. First of all, it is a little bit more bulky, but then again, you don't have any tangling bands, so that's an advantage. Otherwise, it is fairly similar, short, very maneuverable. The arrow, or the spare, is a little different. As you see, it also has these hooks, but there are two of them. The arrow looks like brass, but I think it's just brass-plated steel. It's really heavy. And of course, it has to be airtight here. When you buy it, it comes fully pumped up, which speaks volumes about the quality. I mean, you know, you can probably store it for years without losing the pressure. But then they also give you this pump with it. And this pump goes into the butt end of the thing, and then you have to pump. And, you know, of course, I tested this, and I believe this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Because it takes about 200 strokes, and they're getting successively harder. So I really had to do this in shifts to get it back to full pressure. That is my main reason why I can already say that this is not the preferable home defense weapon. It just takes too long to reload. But then again, if you only need one shot, you can keep it loaded for a long time. You really have to force that spare down the barrel. This takes some time. You don't want to do it when an intruder is already in the house. Okay, let's see how much power it has. Wow! Wow, it went through the block like it wouldn't even be there. That's probably one of the most powerful compact shooters that I've ever seen. Pretty good wound canal too. See, it forced the whole thing complete with the spring and everything through it. Now this thing really is awesome. But now I would have to take like 2 hours or something to pump it up again. So how can we make a rubber-based model be more powerful? Because this has the right power, but it doesn't have the right reloading time. What do we do here at the Slingshot Channel when we want to increase the power of a rubber-operated weapon? Well, we double up the rubber. Okay, if we look closely to how this is set up, you see that the attachments here have a little groove, which is perfect to tie some string around it. It's too tight for rubber. And on the other side, we can easily simply use rubber bands to attach more rubber, in this case TheraBand Gold. You can make several powerful slingshots with that much rubber. But in this case, we're adding about 66 pounds of draw weight to the spare gun. And I'm a little afraid that if you use more, you can no longer cock it against your chest. And also maybe the mechanism will fail. Okay, and here is the souped up version of the rubber-powered spare gun. As you see, this has been attached with a little bit of string. Yes, it's thin, but fits perfectly into the groove. And it's rated at 40 kilograms. This means far more than enough for the 33 pounds, 15 kilograms that these bands have per side. And on the other side, it is attached with rubber bands, too, because these two make sure that this rubber cannot slip off. Okay, for comparison, we're going to shoot it into the archery mat first. Let me see if it's still possible to cock this against your chest. It is harder, but it's still very doable. All right. And fire! Wow! This went in clearly deeper. Let me see. Oh, it's also not easy to pull it out. It went in that far. And I would say that is a good 4, maybe 5 centimeters additional penetration into the archery mat. Okay, ballistic jelly test. Wow! Clearly more penetration. The standard version only had the spare poking out until here. And now we gained this much. Alright, now let's see how it behaves over a longer distance. This is about a good, I'd say 10 meters now. Okay, as you saw, it flew alright for about 10 meters. That's about where the ballistic gelatin block sits. But then after the next 5 meters towards the mattress, it started to tumble. So this means up to 10 meters it's still kind of okay. It certainly had enough power to reach 50 meters. Of course, any cheap crossbow would cover a much longer distance and the projectile would fly with a lot higher speed too. But then again, this is so heavy. This is so much more heavy because it's massive. It's solid. It's not a hollow piece of aluminum. It's a solid piece of steel. It's a veritable steel spare. Both of these weapons are really powerful enough, specifically with the strengthening. I prefer this one for home defense because it is so much easier to get ready. And also you can practice, whereas with this thing, it is just too hard to load. The pumping is just too exhausting. They both have one significant disadvantage. That is, you have one shot only, which I think is really not good for home defense. You want at least 2 shots so that you can give a warning shot. And therefore, I think what is needed is a 2-shot version of a spare gun. Since there is none on the market, I've decided to make one. I already drew up the plan for the system, as you see 2 triggers. And it will be made from aluminum this time, not from wood, what I normally do, because this still needs to qualify as a spare gun, so I can only use waterproof materials. Stay tuned for next weekend, because then I'm going to show it to you. So, I hope you like this, because that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye. Oops. Flew a bit high.